Welcome back to a slightly windy day. Doing that end piece at the moment by the rear doors. I've cut 2 pieces of wood out to just under 2 inches. I really don't like all this wood and the measurements. Can't buy 2-inch pieces anymore. They're just under 2 inches. Well, if you can, I don't know where they're getting from, but anyway, this is what I got so far. Now I've done half lap joints, and the idea is, because I've already got that plywood in place, I can't overlap the existing piece of plywood. I just can't do it. So this is all going to have to be buttered up and then screwed in that way, wood over the top. Shouldn't have done it that way, should have had it as an overlap. Can't do that now. So what we'll probably end up doing is putting half triangles on the inside on one side, just to stop it from moving around. I have my concerns that I'm going to be able to lift this off and carry this round the back, and my concerns are based on all of this lot here, because that area is quite heavy. One of the coach bolts, I forgot to put a washer on, and that went too deep and I can't get it out now. That's going to have to be ripped out and then hammered out after. And it's going to have to go that way, so it's going to have to go slide across once we've undone everything, and then tip, and then open the gate and carry it round the back is what I'm hoping we can do. But if we can't, we'll have to glass fibre the thing up out the front, and then what I'll have to do is paint it out the front, but I won't be able to spray it. I'll have to get a roller, a proper bed liner roller, so I need to have a look at that. I believe U-Pole do one with a tray, so we'll have to roll it and hope we get a stippled effect. Can't guarantee it, and then that should work. So I'm just finishing off this back end. I've angle ironed in, as I said I would do, but you can see that's tight. So we're gonna have to ratchet strap. We'll have to, this one's square, so we'll have to put it all in. We'll have to glue and screw this one first, and then ratchet strap that one in place after, and then hopefully we'll have a seal. But as I said, once we've done the interior panel, I'm thinking we're going to have to put something on that area there just to stop it from moving around, because I made the stupid bloody mistake of putting this on. Now I could router that out, that edge, but you know what, it's just not worth the aggravation. It's all going to be covered eventually, and once it's been covered, it'll be strong as oxes. So I think the biggest headache I've got coming though, glass fibre wise, is all of this area here, because there's a piece of tin to go over that, and this wood needs to stay dry. It's going to leak water in from up here, so all of this is going to get wet. So all of that has got to be rounded off, so I can glass it all in. So what I'm doing now, I smell a barbecue. Who the flipping hell's got a barbie in this weather? Anyway, I'm going to cut into them now. I'm going to do a half lap this side of the line, as I've done here, and then I've got a fair bit of this stuff, which is the correct width, and we're going to place that all in, and then we'll build it up with a piece of that old stuff behind. Once we've done that, we'll then put the ply straight on top. We're going to glue the whole thing on, because we're not taking out that doorway yet. That's getting done later. I am going to mark on the plywood a bold line so you can see it. So after a fiberglass, you can still see the line, and then we can just run a saw straight across once it's all screwed down to the rest of the body, and then we're there, we're done it. There we go. Happy enough with that. Yeah, there's a bit of a gap going on here. I don't know what that's all about. Plywood maybe not cut square. I don't know. I don't care. It's on. That is officially the crown ring completed. But I left the inside alone in the end. One, because I wanted to see where the battens were, and two, I'm planning on putting a batten across here and putting a triangle piece of ply there and a triangular there, which is not going to get glued or glued in. It's going to get screwed in but not glued in, and that's just to stop this thing from wobbling around when I pull it out. Once we get in the garden, we will, oh well, I've got a split there. We will sand it all down and get it all neat and tidy prior to putting all the mechanisms in, because once we glass up, we've then got to put the blocks on each side, after I've done the roof, that is. And here comes the hard bit. I've got to figure out how to level that off, the actual scissor lift, because at the moment it's lifting it higher at one end and lower at the other. Good morning. We had a truly splendid rainstorm last night. It's Tuesday today. Just squeezing through. And look, I finally got the plastic to work. Just a little dribble down here because I had this gap here, but late last night I did have a big bag of water up there and I had to put that post in just to excuse me, deflect the water away, and it appears that it worked. We'll come on to that bit now where I have got to figure out how on earth I'm going to do a roof, because I do not know. I never got that far into the planning. The other day when I sent my saw back to them, not this one, talking to one of the guys there, I said I'll only buy Milwaukee or Evolution, because if I want something to last a long time, then they're the two brands I'll touch. There's others I'm just not so sure about. They made a sarcastic remark about a tool company up near Stowmarket about how they don't deal with their customer service as good as Evolution do. I just sort of chuckled at that one. I thought, well, we'll see. One of my saws is packed up that I bought a couple of months ago, and that's now being fixed, so I'll let you know how that goes. But cutting today, I was cutting a load of this because I need some angles for the next stage, and the saw jammed. When I say jammed, the mechanism that tilts, it jammed up, and I tried to pull it straight and I can't find the bit that broke off. Where is it? Well, anyway, one of the castings completely snapped, and that's kind of ripped this off. The motor still works, the saw itself still works. I mean, there you go, you see, look, that broke off there. That was part of the tilt mechanism. I could have riveted a piece of metal on there, I suppose, but I've ordered another one. But it isn't an Evolution, and I don't care if the other one don't survive for very long, because eventually what I'm going to do is I am going to make a proper bloody rip saw that can rip my large lumps of wood down. I have this, but it's not very good. Well, it came in yesterday. Sorry, this came in today. Seems the dog is helping me unpack. I'm not sure I'm going to use this bit, because storing this is going to be tricky with them. You pull that apart for me. Just bear in mind, though, I might have to send it back if it don't work. And if you wreck the box, you're not listening, are you? Are you listening to me? Oi! Are you listening to me? No, you're not listening to me. Don't eat the damn thing. So yeah, the one thing I do like is plastic clear on the guard. How much of this is similar to the Evolution one I had? I don't know yet. I haven't really looked at the stats. I just need something that can cut wood, because I literally oh boy. Are you finished? Huh? Are you finished? No. Oh well, just leave him to it, I suppose. I was screwed if I need to send it back, eh? Hey, you carry on, you eat your heart out. don't you? Thing I do like doing is making my own tools. That evolution table that broke, I've got this old saw that I picked up on Facebook sales a long time ago. I used it a couple of times, but it weren't all that great, if I'm honest. The blade wobbles because someone's cut the hole wrong in the centre of the blade. Either that or the shaft is bent, one or the other. All the wood is rotted on it. I mean, personally, it's kind of ready for the scrap bin, really. However, I've got that tabletop from the Evolution. I've got the rife from the Evolution that could be made to fit. We've got the guard from the Evolution that could go on. We've got an Evolution blade that can go on. We also could make up a new trap here. We don't actually need that because we can access the blade from underneath. The only thing that's a bit of a nuisance, the frame is a bit too big. Okay, there is the first one so far. So what we need to do now is put another one of those up here, so later on we can cut a piece of wood. Don't get me wrong, this angle does not match that. It comes up to here if we were, but because we're glassing it, I'm not overly fussed by that. Am I struggling? I'm making mistakes left, right and centre, not helped by the fact that the young lady that I defended when cutting that, cut that wrong. I had a couple of them come out 7 instead of 8, and a couple of them were 8.3. I don't know what's going on with that saw, whether it was her lack of knowledge using it or what, but I do know that the experienced bloke that was giving her assistance was very critical with his body language when I mentioned about my maths, and they got that wrong. Hypocrites. Oh well, moving on. She had got all the 8-inch ones wrong. They're all under, so I've had to reset them and get them all the right length, and they're not 8 anymore, but it don't matter too much. As long as they all come out the same, that's what really matters. And as you can see, that's probably the best this is going to get for the outside edge. So this side, passenger side and the front piece, all going to be made like that. I won't deny the momentum was slightly blown when I discovered they were not 8 inches. 10 on the bottom, 8 going up. I was trying to keep this thing as low profile as possible, bearing in mind there's probably another 6 inches to go on top of that. I'm close to having full headroom already without having lift up sides. The only thing I can say that will benefit me from lift up sides is sitting up in bed. We can potentially have like another bedroom where we, once we crawl in there, you know, we can fully sit up, read, watch TV, shit like that, you know, excuse my language. So okay, it is what it is, isn't it? I can't really get it. I had so many distractions today. Council man turned up to replace a bedroom door, didn't replace it, he just filled the holes up. No help whatsoever. So I'm making mistakes now because I just cannot concentrate. But anyway, the second one is almost done. I've just got to cut some scaffold board up. Oh, flipping heck. I've just got to cut some scaffold board up so I can finish this piece off here, put the angle on, which will be the same as that one. Yeah, it's a little bent, can't help that. We'll straighten that out when we put the plywood on anyway, not an issue really. What else can I say about it? I'll probably, no I won't, because it's actually wider than the existing wall that is there, so I can't. I was thinking about screwing through the back to hold it down, but I'm not going to be able to do that. So how I'm going to get this to stay on, I really don't know at this point. And also those brackets that little light's got her attached to, I genuinely don't think it's going to be strong enough. So I can see myself boring one of these out wherever the beams have got to go and adding some extra wood in there. I can just see it happening. So we'll carefully jigsaw out at a later date, I suppose, and work out where everything is going to sit. And we've also got a piece to put down here as well, and we don't have a lot of play there. I think we ought to do that first and then curve the bottom so glass fibre can mould around it, and then I think that needs to be incorporated. Have a second piece of wood cut temporarily screwed on the other side so everything sits on top of the camper. But the problem is I haven't established what the height of that is going to be at the moment in its parked position. This is really difficult. I'm struggling to get my head around some of this. Anyway, okay, so I've got both angles cut correctly there, but something went wrong because right at the back I'm a centimetre out. So, nuisance, really is. We'll mount this on tomorrow, we'll see exactly how bad it is. If it comes to it, what we'll have to do is very, very finely cut a piece of ply off the base and then add a piece and extend. Failing that, we'll just have to screw onto that edge there instead of going underneath, because at the moment, as you can see, it is, well, you can't see, but believe me, I've just had to trim the front up because it was easier to have the front trimmed than it was to extend the back. I've measured both ends and they're out. It's supposed to be 340 long and it's under, so the back has got to be slightly modified. What a pain in the butt, and that might weaken it as well. That's what I'm worried about. This roof has got to be solid, so we'll see where we end up. Okay, morning, Thursday. I ain't done anything today, to be honest with you, so far. Anyway, look, customer services at Evolution have got back to me about my saw that broke. What happened was the fan, every time the machine wound over, the fan, one of the fins would bend up and would start clicking and clonking. Really annoying. Well, I've got a message from them now, and it says here, your machine has been inspected by our workshop, Evolution Power Tools, blah 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 number. The technician has advised on stripping it down to inspect, and I found that one of the field coils locating screws is loose and fallen out. They is making, that's what they put here, they is making on one of the fans that could have been in contact with the screw, but all the fans have been bent in the wrong direction, causing the fan to become in contact with the field coil windings, shorting the power down to the casing of the machine. This could not be done with the screw falling out. We will therefore issue a replacement machine. This unit will leave us today and should be delivered in the next 2 to 3 working days. Blah blah blah. Warrant continues from the date of purchase. Blah blah blah. The only headache I've had from Evolution regarding this saw was proof of purchase. I got this out of my catalogue, as I said to you before. See, I wasn't lying about that. And they don't give receipts. Period. You don't get a receipt, you don't get an invoice. You get a return slip, which between you and me, I've lost. I could probably get a new one issued, but Littlewoods are actually quite difficult sometimes, especially when their purchase dates have gone by a couple of months, to actually get them to do anything. I sent some stuff back before. And they just posted it back saying warranty was expired, but the machine warranty was still strong with the manufacturer. Instead of sending it to them, they just sent it back to me and said no, they want nothing to do with it. Evolution, however, have seen the statement, which I covered my account number up with, so they didn't read my account number, and I photocopied that, sent that to them, and that has been accepted as proof of purchase. So yeah, it seems that some dopey sod has been building the motors and have put the fan blade on the wrong way round, by the sounds of it, and that was why the fan blade was bending. Possibly a one-off, possibly not, I don't know. But I will say this much. This here saw here, which is not an Evolution, I must stress this, it is not, has exactly the same mechanism in that saw as what was in the Evolution. The motor is even the same. So I reckon these companies use generic, universal, widely available motors. So they probably have, some Chinese company, say for example, probably has loads of drawings and schematics of machines, and people like Evolution, Bosch, blah blah blah, all turn to these companies and say, right, we need a saw, this is what we've designed, what can you come up with? And they probably use a lot of the same parts from all the other machines, because I've looked at the mechanism in that one, it's identical, almost identical. In fact, the bit that broke on the Evolution is in that machine in the shed. I could actually take that out and put that back in the Evolution and have the Evolution working again, but no, I'm not going to do that. And the reason I'm not going to do it is because that little table saw, believe it or not, is cutting really well. In fact, I'm quite impressed with that at the moment. I'm not going to say it's better than Evolution, because the tabletop is really naff, in the sense that when it turned up here, that was already damaged, and I believe that was damaged in the factory, not by the courier. I found no evidence that the courier did that, because there's no holes in the box. And the tabletop on that, well, there's nothing to it really. A couple of little trays that extend out, slots for the slider, whereas the Evolution one, and I'll show you the tabletop for the Evolution, all the slot moves that way and this way. That piece here can slide backwards and forwards, so it's far more superior, and the Evolution cuts metal, whereas that little old thing do not. Although I'm sure if I put an Evolution blade on it, it probably would, because the power output is it's an 1800 motor. I just don't know what the torque ratings is and the speed. I haven't checked the RPMs yet to see if they're the same or not. I don't know. But that was a good saw while it lasted. It got abused. I mean, you can see by the state of that, I was not nice to this machine. I mean, I welded crap on it, everything. It really got an arse kicking. You can see it's had a lot of use, because the paint is all scraped back from where I've been sliding stuff backwards and forwards, and I am now getting ready to mount that onto this anyway. So that's all I have to say on that. Well, Evolution, I tell you, I so love you at the moment. That hole, I haven't had to machine it out or nothing. It fits that shaft exactly. That was the blade that was in it. Someone's machined it out and they got it a little wonky. So that can go in the bin. This, look at that. It's perfect. There's no little bit of movement there, but I'm not going to cry over that. Not really. Oh wow. Impressed. I'm impressed. So I can then put that back on. I have no idea what this gearbox is from. Anyone recognise it? Anyone recognise that? What that could have been off? We've got a wood rough key going in there, so something large went on the end of that. I mean, don't look like it came off an excavator. I wouldn't 100% say it was any kind of machinery. Definitely something vehicular. Rotavator maybe? I don't know. Not a clue. So, this build is going to be good. He needs a walk, don't you? Because all that's happening is I'm getting bitten every 5 seconds because he's over enthusiastic. Anyway, so before I do that, I'm going to do this, and then I'll take him for a walk. So those panels are on, resting. We've still got a straight piece of wood to put in here like we have here to take up the space of the mechanism that's going to sit underneath, but for now at least we're going to screw them down, and we're going to get the fascia at the front built and the fascia at the back built, trying to square these off at the same time, because for some reason they've leaned over, probably because I've used multiple bits of wood and the plywood's a bit warped as well out and out. And then we'll sometime during the weekend get a B&Q, because we've got to finish off the wife's decorating the bedrooms. We've got to finish that as well. So we'll get the plywood for this and some wood for her shelves. But Saturday, which is tomorrow, is apparently going to be a very, very wet and windy day, and I have my concerns because my plastic sheet don't fit. I do have that I made, temporary, that keeps the rain off the front, but it don't do much for the back. So we've got some more of that lying behind. This is what we threw away. So I'm probably going to screw the rest of it that's left. What we got under here? Yeah, there's a few bits, a couple of large bits that I told the boy to bust up, but I think I told him not to bust them up. And we'll put them in and pray the wind don't take that with it. 60-mile-an-hour winds held with bungee straps. Yeah, you can see how this is going to pan out, can't you? Okay, today's progress. We are getting there. Oh boy, are we. So I've made the first piece to go across at an angle. Just got to trim up here. These screws where I've marked have got to be driven out, because at the moment it's screwed down to the whole thing, and I can't put that plate on until those screws are gone, and I can't get under while the glue's drying. So no, we'll run over it with a sander just to get everything level, and then we'll use the 5mm stuff to put across there, just because of its position, a very vulnerable area. Yeah, you can kind of see the shape. So there'll be another flat bit here that will go up a little bit. It's probably about that in height, and then it will go that way. And now we've got to worry about this bit that I went and cut a little short. I think we'll have to cut this side short, and then the plywood can go straight over this area here, because we've got the distance of a piece of ply, if you can see, thereabouts. Failing that, we'll put a piece of 2-inch top and bottom, because this isn't going anywhere. We're not cutting into that. We are this, but we're not cutting into that. And this will be a good test for that table saw, because I'm going to have to cut that 2x4 up to fit that space. So what I might do, as there's two pieces, I might cut that bit of wood straight down the middle to the full width, and then run it through the saw to split it, and then screw it straight in with the plywood underneath. I have the ply already cut, I've just got to slide it in underneath. But I think now looking at it, that might be a little bit on the small side. I've got that one right, I just didn't get that one right. Something's wrong. Something went wrong. And as I said, I think it was the slope at the front that ballsed it up. So there you go. If you're wondering why the camber is taking so long to do, it's because my wife, a lovely wife, has decided to decorate this room. We're just going through it slowly. This is where the computer was, over against this wall here, and we've put brackets up for shelving. We've repainted because we had plaster out, and the council redid that wall for us. He didn't do a very good job though, the plasterer. And then we hit catastrophe because we put paint on that wall. I had a big yin-yang that was the wrong way round, and I had to sand that off, and I went through the paint, and then when we painted over the top, the paint softened the underpaint, and then we ended up having to scrape and sand this whole wall. And in the process of that happening, half the wall fell down, the plaster, so I had to get some filler, big loads of filler, and straight over the top to try and hide what had happened. Didn't go so well over there, but Yeah, yellow, bright bleeding yellow. So she's just got the sealing to do, but I reckon that'll be the boy doing it, not me, because I don't want to do it. I should have filled them holes. I wasn't going to, because I was going to reuse them, but we're going to do that over here. So the computer is going here. This is why you haven't had a video yet, because it's chaos, absolute chaos. She's got an Elvis collection. I hate Elvis, it has to be said, but whatever. It's her room and my corner, and we're going to put a bed in, and it'll be a chill room, so to speak, in a hobby room. She does birthday cards and Christmas cards, so she'll sit down at the desk over here when I get it built. So this is the reason why, and what I've come up with is I had an old office desk given to me a long time ago, and it's been sitting in that garden, rotting away. I haven't used it. I kind of, after I took it, I thought about it. I thought, you know what, I ain't got no room for this, but I can't put my stuff back there because she's kind of nicked the space with that thing she bought from a charity shop. So what I need to do is I'm stripping the paint off. I'm going to put a desk drawer set there, a metal drawer set there, and then I'm going to get some pallets, and I'm going to make up a tabletop out of pallets. I'm going to attempt to get it to crawl round so that an office desk will thingy-jiggy, what do you call it, will come out here, and another one there. And I've just realised something. I only sanded one side down. You can see it in the greenhouse over there. I've only sanded one side down to raw metal and lacquered it, and if I put it there, I think we might end up seeing the grey insert side. The one that was going over here was going to get sanded both sides, because you're going to see a little bit of that. The only other way around it, I suppose, is to put it in over there and just have a tabletop, but you're not going to get access to that drawer very well. So I don't really know how this is going to work now. Grinder. And I put a sanding disc on the end and just span the crap out of it there. And I wanted the scratches to show, which it has. I actually wanted to see that, and then I went over with a wire brush in certain key areas where the dents are, which you can see there. So that bit there and that front there has been stripped out, and we've also done the drawers, so they're stripped out on the fascias, but I haven't done anything else. I've just got to go around lightly, sand the rust off, put the handles back on. That is the look I was after. I wasn't after anything else. I wanted an old-fashioned bad, like, how can I put it, like an old 40s 50s backstreet repair shop look. You know, like in the back room you'd have an office and there'd be like raw wood everywhere. That's the kind of look I wanted for that corner, and that's what I got. So I've done one. I've got to cut some of that scrap ply to put on top on this surface here. I'm going to rivet that on. Purpose of that is just so I can screw down wood for the tabletop, because I actually want to jack the tabletop up a little higher. We've got that one over there to sand. That's upside down at the moment, but I'll get to that tomorrow, because I've got nowhere to put this. This needs to go upstairs really, but before I go upstairs I've got to get that piece of wood done for this surface here, which is going to be a couple of pieces, whichever I can find that's usable. So at this point I'll be starting a new video. Unfortunately I can't get in that computer room at all. Still pretty well clogged up, so I haven't been able to make it. So this is going to be a really long one, isn't it? So I'm now outside. I am now putting some effort back into picking this up, because in order to get that room cleared up there, I need to get this roof sorted out. And the reason I need to get the roof sorted out, I only want to do one journey to the wood merchants, and we need some shelving wood for the bedroom. So I have now picked this up again, so in a little while I'm going to unscrew that piece of wood there so I can straighten these out. I'm going to cut a piece of 2x4 into a 2x2 so I can build a piece across here. That's the only way this is going to work. A piece across there, one going across there, and then we're going to have to put a piece going down, and then we'll clad with a thick piece of this on the outside, and we'll cut in the edge that we need for each side. Hence me needing to build this out to where it needs to be. I say a 2 by 2, but it needs to be that thickness. And I got that one wrong and not this one, because the piece of ply sits flush on that edge and it doesn't over here. So somewhere along the lines I got one longer than the other, and I don't know why. Beggars belief, doesn't it? Okay, can't remember if I did an update or not. Right, there we go. Ignore that bit of wood up there, that's not part of it, that's just propping up the plastic. There you go, you'll see it better all the way along. I didn't have one that was 9 inches wide, hence I haven't cut an inch off another piece of ply and joining it together. It don't matter really, because it's all getting glass fibered up anyway. So tomorrow now we're going to go to B&Q, we're going to get one lump of wood for a tabletop, which is probably going to be plywood, so I've got that to be getting on with in a little while, like tomorrow. We're going to measure up sheets of ply. I was going to line the inside at the same time and put the polyurethane in there, but do you know what, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just put the ply on and I'm going to get that glassed up, and I'm going to order some more fiberglass material for the crown because I haven't got enough. Once the roof is glassed, the crown will come off, the crown will go in the garden, the roof will come back out and be laid on and ratchet strapped down to stop the weather from getting in, and then when the crown is done we'll reset that panel because we're not repainting that this year now, so that's going to get pushed out, glued and screwed, that panel. I'm going to sand the other panel down, glue and screw that, and the crown will then get glued and screwed in position as well, permanently. And then it's just a question of getting the mechanism fitted for the lift, and then we've got the walls to do, which means more fiberglass material, and I don't know how I'm doing that at the moment to keeping it light, because originally I was going to put the same system in place that I did here, but because I've got windows going in I won't have nothing to fix the windows to, so it's looking like B&Q. It took absolutely ages getting up there because the road works. But I want to give you a little tip. Whenever you go to a DIY store or somewhere similar and you see materials being reduced in price, God's sake, have a crack at haggling. You'll be surprised where you'll get. I've got a bit of ply up there which should have been brand new, close to what, £27, maybe a little bit more. No, it was 30 something quid, that bit, if I remember rightly. It's got damage across to here, but I'm not bothered by any of that because I'm taking one little slit off to make a tabletop, and that's it. I might cut the rest of it out to make the 2 lids for the 2 drawers. This is for the office room, by the way. And I went out to the lad and I said, any chance I could have that for 20 instead of 25? Because he had it marked up at 25. He then wandered off and he come back and he said, yeah, I'll do it for 20. I went, brilliant, because I didn't want it if you weren't. And there you go. So I got all the ply I need to do the roof, the ply to do the desk, and we've got her shelving ply. Well, before I upload, 2 pieces of plywood glued and screwed, some wax over the top, and I sanded all the paint off. That's actually raw metal, but you can't really see it, and I've done that one, but we've just got to hoover that out, and I've got to do the drawers as well. I've got to sand them back. Shelves that I cut today, even glued her in some record stops so they don't fall over, and then we've got another 4 of them to go on that wall there, so her telly's going on there. We're going to put a single bed over here, basically a studio stroke office stroke chill room is basically what this is. I've got 2 other shelves to go up here eventually, Still got to find somewhere to put that printer though. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. So now I've got to transfer all of this and all of that to that. Do the drawers tomorrow when I get back from the vets, because we've got to do the Diesel's appointment tomorrow for having his joints checked. So we're praying that there's no clicking when they maul around with his legs, which would indicate hip problems. Oh boy. So yeah, that's for tomorrow. Bit of old scrap that was, 20 quid, that's all I paid for it. I tried to sand out that stain, but I couldn't get rid of it, and instead I just went too far. Veneer is rubbish. But it will do the job. That don't look too bad, I suppose, all things considered. I wanted something rustic, and I've definitely got that. That side, this frontal side, but not that side, because we've got that to get down during the week, and I'm really unsure of how that one is going together. So I've got to get a grinder out. I've got to grind all these screw heads out that are poking through. I then got to see, I was going to get B&Q to cut my side wood, just because I think they do it neater, but the last lot they cut, they got it all wrong. It was a real pain in the arse to put right, actually. So I'm kind of debating whether I should do this myself. I need to get the sander out before I can clad everything properly, because like that ain't quite made it on the angle, and nor has that one. I also need to throw it back over, but the problem I got, still need to get that down, which is a bit of a nuisance. What I might do is push that right across, and then the lad can stand inside and hold that up in the air, hopefully, before I put the roof on. Might be a better idea. We're only talking 4 bolts, I think, memory serves. Yeah, 4 big bolts. And that should drop off without too much trouble. The other thing I need to do, or I need to remember to do, is I've got a mark under here, because I've got to put a cut along there, because I want it dead flush with that. It never went that way. For some reason I decided to push it, keep it level with the walls, because it was easier to do, if I'm honest. So I need to cut that, and with a saw, and trim it all off if I can. Again, not a massive big deal, but a bit of a pain in the butt, but because I've got to get one on this edge as well, and obviously with this angle I've got to realign the blade accordingly. Then we've got to trim off in here and tidy this all up, and then we've got to curve everything so as the rest of the glass fibre will go over the top. As you can see, it's not going to be possible to do all of it because of the angles and where everything is, but a wire brush will clean up most of the straggly stuff that you see. And then when we put the bed liner on, we'll probably put that on with a brush because we can get it thicker, and that will fill up some of the nooks and crannies. How long do I need this to last for? As long as the truck. I'll rephrase that, for as long as I keep a pickup truck or 4x4. If I get rid of my pickup truck, I will probably either get another one and put this on, or I'll put this on a trailer and I'll build a caravan bit at the front for a garage, and I'll tow it. I'm going to try and keep my pickup truck for as long as I conceivably can. I'm even debating about buying another one for spares, quite literally, because I'm so worried about not being able to get stuff for this.